I wanna thank everybody for coming out tonight. You know, I don't think there's any better reason or any better person to come out and celebrate everything that LCCS is all about than Dr. Krinsky here. You know, being here and seeing all these familiar, friendly faces has truly been wonderful for me. And you know, I've been here a long time, and Steve has been here from the very beginning for me. He was the one that contacted me for my very first interview at LCCS. So, you know, he's very, very near and dear to my heart, just like everybody else in this room right now. So I'm not going to stay up here too long. I just want to welcome you all here tonight. Thank you for coming out, and let's have a big round of applause for Steve. And we're going to give you guys a chance to come up and talk about some of the things that you know, you're going to remember most about the impact that he's had on you. You know, whether it's a funny story, a lesson learned, because he has plenty of things that he has imparted on all of us. So we're going to have a kind of open mic session at this point to you know, let you guys share your memories of Steve. Thank you.
So I need everyone to zip their lips, thank you. It has been awesome so far seeing all of these faces from our past. And one thing we want to do really quickly is find out who the earliest graduate is that's here. And I hear there's someone, no, not you. I hear there's someone from the class of 2004. Is that true? 2004? Over there. All right, can you stand up and stay standing? What about 2005? Anyone 2005? 2006? 2007?
Jonathan, it was funny the first time.
2008? If you are called, if your graduation year is called, please stay standing. 2009? 2010? 2011? 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, if you're graduating in 2016, and the rest of you. So a big round of applause for all of the alumni. Now who wants to be first?
Okay, from the early days when LCCS was a patched up, disjointed amalgam of train depot classrooms and trailers held together by a fierce determination by parents, teachers, and a principal to create a new reality for students of Jersey City, to our current post-Catholic school abode, working hard and expanding while hanging on to and building upon that which set us apart from other public schools. For Steve, it has always been about the students. Teaching for Steve held a purpose higher than merely teaching subject matter. He seems to have had a desire to shape his students into whole individuals who understood current reality through written history, maps, as well as through personal experiences, who understood that the earth is a fragile place and that unless they work hard to figure out effective solutions, the world would not exist. Steve exuded to his students his passion for cultural and musical traditions in America and around the globe. I recently met an alumni on the 119 bus who told me that he attributed his passion for learning to Dr. Krinsky. Steve, along with Karen and Libby and others, helped to create a school which distinguished itself in its ability to create a rich learning environment in which both students and staff felt highly valued and empowered. Thank you, Steve. The school will not be the same without you. We will miss you.
Well, first, since 7th grade, a lot of kids have been eating lunch in Dr. Krinsky's room. And it's a good break from the insanity of the lunchroom. It's terrible down there, you know what I'm saying? It's great upstairs though. But also I had pneumonia and I couldn't come to school. And Dr. Krinsky was one of the people who would come in to tutor me, I guess, or teach me my classes because I couldn't go to school. And it was fun actually, because it wasn't bad. Better than class. No offense to Miss Cosby. But it was fun because I got to talk to you about the things I knew about current events and things. And it made having pneumonia a little less terrible, I guess. And that is the end of my speech.
So one of, I think, his most important things about Steve Krinsky as a person is that he always believed that you should act in what you believed. Is that if something was important enough to you, you should do something about it. And he shared this to this class through many of the stories from his college days, post-grad, and some of them that are pretty amusing. I don't remember all the details of this one, so it's kind of weird, but when he marched in full Klan robes against, who was it?
Strom Thurmond.
Strom Thurmond, who, why can you get that in? Okay, so this racist senator, so and then you sat in his chair to protest him, and you were told by the security guards that if you don't leave, we'll have to force you to leave. And there's a great picture that you showed us where it's just this guy in full Klan robes, but we can see your moccasins, so it was obviously you. And I think that was just something that was very important, is again, that if you truly believe in something, to stand up to it. And that was something that Steve taught us. Thank you.
Steve has always been the kind of person to care for us all. He's been my favorite teacher so far, and he's really the only hippie that I've ever really come to love and know. I mean, like I said before, he dressed up in Klan robes, so that kind of strange for a hippie to do. He's had some good stories, like I think he got arrested in a Mexican jail for sleeping on the beach. He's done some crazy things, but I'm happy to say that he's settling down and retiring. Probably going to move out to Colorado where they have some things legal. But I think Steve has really helped me grow as a person. He's really helped me funnel my focus onto geography and social studies, and he's really helped me kind of realize that this is what I want to study and this is what I want to learn. So I just want to say thank you so much, Steve. You've done so much for each and every one of us. You've been so great for us and you care so much for this community. I mean, it's really, really impressive what you've done for us. Thank you.
Dr. Krinsky, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't really remember what happened in our social studies class. It's been about 6 years since then. What I do remember is a couple of things. I remember you used to talk to us, you used to put your hand like this, and you used to speak to us just like this, and you would say something, and everybody would be like, yes. I do remember our Red Sox-Yankees debates. Unfortunately, the Red Sox are winning and the Yankees aren't, so I'll give you that. But I came here today because obviously you mean a lot to this school. I mean, you mean a lot to almost everybody that's here. I mean, everybody's here, not almost everybody. But just thank you for what you've done for the school, what you've done for Batia, what you've done for the class of 2010, which is, I think, the best class, but they don't need to know that. Oh, don't boo me. But just thank you, Dr. Krinsky, and have fun riding your bike and being bored. So, all right.
I wasn't sure what I was going to say when I came up here, but I drove like 6 hours to come see you, so I needed to say something. There's this one moment in 8th grade that really stands out to me when we're all sitting down, you're teaching the class, I think your back is facing us, you're on the whiteboard, history stuff, and then Batia turns to me and she's like, Chris, when we give the word, you gotta drop a pencil. And I'm like, why are we dropping our pencils? And then literally like 30 seconds later, everyone drops their pencils on the ground, and it's like, you would think that one pencil doesn't make much noise, but like when 20 people drop their pencils at the same time, it's like clacking all over the place, and Steve turns around and he's like, what are you guys doing? And but Steve never yelled much at us, which is nice. We've had high school, had teachers scream at us, so I gotta say, you're probably one of the best history teachers we've ever had, or I've ever had at least. Yeah, you've always had this enthusiasm. A lot of history teachers that I've had in high school, even in college, just never had. And I honestly don't know what you're gonna do with your free time without rambling to kids about history and all that. So good luck with your long retirement, and it's really good to see you again.
To say. Listen, my children, and you shall hear the fabled story of a mighty man from Revere. Before many here were born, about 20 years gone by, that man opened doors on Canal Street to help give charter a try. Into a school newly born where all kids could succeed, stepped Dr. Krinsky, a man who would know what they'd need. Now that journey is ending, but here's what we learned along the way. You want to know about Jersey? Well, Steve is your man. The history, the battles, the trails, the bands. From the reservoir's edge, on the Clearwater sloop, to Lincoln Park West, where he took the Green Group. The LCCS Middle School visited all these places of note. Okay, he lost a couple of students in the Great Swamp, but that was only 2 out of 60, so really just a minor footnote. In this election season where the choices were a bore, Krinsky talked about Lincoln, that guy who sits right next door. Hoist a tankard to Dr. Krinsky, the man of the hour, who's moving on to drive in the land of Uber power. He's done with the classics, Arthur Miller, Harper Lee. Now it's all Red Sox, WFMU, and birding. Life's gonna be a breeze. If you're looking for him next year, check out Down South. Mardi Gras and the blues. He's got that taste in his mouth. Here's to you, Dr. Krinsky, from all of your fans.
There are a lot of memories that I'd like to share with about Dr. Krinsky, but you know I can't share half of them, so I'm not. Honestly, I wish I had a yellow card right now, just so I can give you one. I really want to give you a yellow card right now. But my most fond memory of Dr. Krinsky, I had just got caught cheating from Ms. B. She did the whole, you know, she brought up the cell phone, you want to call your parents, you know, and the whole spiel. I gave her the wrong number. So I went into Dr. Krinsky's class the next period, and I told him that I just got caught cheating. And he looked at me and he said, you know, Aaron, cheating, like any skill, is something you have to work at. And ever since that day, I've been pretty good. So I mean, Dr. Krinsky's main philosophy, at least one of them, was that like life is like any skill, you have to keep working at it, and I got pretty good at cheating, so I mean, if that goes to show anything, you know. You've obviously mean a lot to me and everybody in this room right now. You've done a tremendous amount for the school, and I'd just like to thank you for that. Thank you.
Glad to see you all come out here tonight for Steve's big retirement. I'm trying to think back of a real important memory, but I really can't right now. But I feel like I gotta come up here and at least give you like my respects, you know? So I gotta say, Steve, man, shaking your hand now is just, I'm so old now, you know? So it's like so different. But other than that, I gotta say, man, I always remember you just pushing me constantly. I remember I'd come into your classroom, sit down, I'd have like a little argument with Jerome, because he always had a slick mouth. Other than that, and then I just sit down and see you, and you start talking, and I try and pay attention. Like, I'm still a bad student, but you know, I'm trying, I'm working at it, like Aaron said earlier. But other than that, Steve, just, you're the man. That's all I gotta say.
A lot of you don't know me, but my name's Isai. Even though I've been here, you've taught me for like 1 year. Like, you showed me a lot of potential, and it gave me I'm trying. So, as I said, he showed me a lot of potential, and he's really pushed me to thinking, like, he's just really taught me a lot, and yeah, that's all I have to say.
Dr. K. I've gotten about like 3 years worth of yellow cards, and can I speak to you after classes? And I feel like you've really helped me improve with that, and I know my behavior is not the best in your class, and like to you, I'm the actor, and I like dance around a lot, but I just want to say, like, all that you've done, all that, no matter how much you've scolded me, and how many yellow cards you've given me. I don't think you have enough yellow cards to get me to shut me up, but all of that has helped. All your teaching and all, I know all that's been helpful. I just want to say thank you for all that.
One of my like biggest memories of Steve's class is just his passion for like the environment. And one of my favorite memories was just like our whole class at the end of the year, the marking period, just going through every binder and looking through everything and finding all the pieces of paper that could be reused, and just how that really like exemplified Dr. Krinsky's passion for that. And just that kind of showed through all of the other things, the field trips to Laurel Hill State Park, and just the great memories of that. And Steve's one of those teachers where you just like, you look back and you think like, wow, that was like a great teacher. And like, you're in class at some point years later and you just think like, oh yeah, I remember that from Steve's class. And just like random stuff like that, it really like, that kind of thing really sticks with you. And it was just such a great class and such a great experience being in Steve's class. Thank you.
I don't actually have a story, I just have two simple jokes. What did Tennessee? What Arkansas? And what did Delaware? New Jersey.
I just wanted to get up here and comment a bit on the guy, we all came here to recognize, and he's a guy who put up a lot in class, especially for me. and managed to keep us on track. Sorry about crawling into class that one time. I thought you wouldn't see me. I don't know what I was thinking. He's a guy who taught many of us, not only about the world that once was and its narrative, but about the one that we currently inhabit and how we can preserve it. He's Dr. Krinsky, a guy who can see the bigger things in life and experience all of them with a smile. And I say all this only from having known him in the classroom and in Green Group. But the fact that so much of who he is to me and all my classmates has reached such a diverse group of people is really a testament to how big a deal he is. So to you, thank you, Doc. Thank you for the hours in the classroom before, during, and after 2011. Thank you for long walks in the park and hours after school learning to respect the world we live in. Thank you for the computer drives and the community service and all the other extra hours you put in. Thank you for everything and more, just being you. And enjoy everything that's ahead of you because you've earned it.
You helped me become comfortable with myself. I was never comfortable with myself. More like, I always felt like it was a bad thing to be myself. Everyone seemed different. I felt like I cared too much. But you helped me see that it's okay to be outgoing, energetic, and caring, and nice. There's nothing wrong with it. So, thanks a lot, Steve.
I remember him telling us his stories, which I think he's not telling us the full truth. I remember kids falling asleep in the back, and I'm just like thinking, like, what, why? Also, I remember in Green Group, which I went for 2 years, I remember he used to let kids come in even when they didn't sign up, and then Charlotte will get mad and come upstairs. And the people who know me, they kind of know me as being a talkative kid. That's what they say. Stuttering too, yes. That's what I'm doing right now. But okay, so I always respected Dr. Krinsky, or I'm just gonna say Steve, since it's weird saying Dr. Krinsky. And I always respected him. He was a great teacher. He got me really interested in history and got me into politics, which I should not be following right now, compared to what's going on. Like how? And so I just want to say, hopefully you do good not taking your car, and I just, good luck in retirement. Thank you.
So, the story I'm about to tell, it's not about 7th grade or even 8th grade, where I am now. It's about 3rd grade. We had just moved into the building, and it was the end of the day, and I had no idea what we were supposed to do. So instead of going downstairs to leave the school, I went upstairs. I don't know why. So I'm kind of like walking down the hall, spaceman style, like, and Dr. Krinsky comes out of his room and he says, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going to class." And he says, "It's the end of the day. How about you go downstairs?" So I said, "Oh, okay then." So he's helped me with that. I'm still spacey, but he helped me with that, and he helped me become less spacey. Though now I don't have him anymore. I'm like now, I don't know what to do anymore. So, I just want to thank you for letting me go upstairs to your classroom during lunch, putting up with me. I know that was a challenge every day for a year. I would not want to be in your position. And just overall being a great teacher, founding this school, and yeah, thank you.
So he wanted a little support up here. And as Steve has taught us all, it's the LCCS way to support our people. So I'm going to turn the mic over.
I had to have Mr. Laster come up here with me because I'm very shy and very nervous. I couldn't come up here without him. This is kind of about Steve and the school. I hope that's okay to talk about LCCS itself. I was just thinking maybe like last week that LCCS is probably one of the best experiences of my life because I came to LCCS in the 4th grade from, okay, LCCS is very culturally diverse. I came from a school that was the exact opposite. Something happened and then my mother wanted me to be in a better school. So like, I just met up with one of my classmates, Gage, last summer. And then through him, I got reconnected with some of my other classmates like 2 weeks ago, and I was just thinking like, wow, like we're all different and everything. About Steve, I remember you were very patient with me. The kid right here, I remember his name, the LB shirt. He was saying how you would, no, and it's the second row. I think it was him. Anytime somebody did something, you wouldn't stop the class. You would just be like, "Can I see you after class?" And like, I got that a lot. And I remember I would never stay, like the field trips used to take us on to Peninsula Park and stuff like that. Like I would have, if it wasn't for LCCS, I wouldn't have experienced stuff like that. I wasn't even familiar with the downtown area. I'm from the Bergen Lafayette area, so I thank you for that because like I see the world differently now from going to LCCS. Just went back by the building the other day. To the kids now, they go here now. Like I don't even know where you guys go for your field trips. Like I wish you guys could experience the original building, how we did. I really miss it. And I just want to say thank you, Steve, and just the whole school for the experience.
This is for the really old timers, the people who were involved in putting the school together before there was actually a building, before there was a charter. That was Steve and Karen. There are some parents here, some kids here who were there on day one. My younger son it was in the first class that graduated, went through all the way K through 8, Gay, her daughter as well. Mira was here on day one. And so I know Steve, not as a teacher, but as a colleague putting the school together. And before he taught at the school, he was parent community outreach organizer, was that it? So you were sort of a community organizer? You may have an interesting career ahead of you. Anyway, and then when Steve became a teacher, and I would first hear Nate coming home, first it was Steve, then it became Dr. Krinsky. And just hearing stories about what was going on in the class, and then same with Ted. And so I was here at the beginning with you, and I'm here at the end with you, and I want to thank you very much.
I remember another time we went on a field trip to the graveyard, and Evan was misbehaving so bad that you had to hold his hand for the rest of the day, and you wouldn't let go even when we were crossing the streets, especially. God, just so many memories. When you get so mad because people would go up to get hand sanitizer or tissue without you asking, you'd be like, "What are you doing?" And you'd be like, "I just need some hand sanitizer," and then you'd ask, and having your little phone and the clip on your belt. And someone mentioned before how you used to wear your hand like that in your shirt. You used to also put your clipboard right under your lip as you were ready to like tap on the clipboard, like what people were like asking. And you just made people in general respect history so much, and really you changed us all, and LCCS won't be the same without you, and you were just an amazing teacher, and we really appreciate you.
I've actually never been in this building. My year was the last year in the old building, and oh man, I haven't been in a classroom with Steve for like about 7 years now, right?
Yes, sir.
And honestly, I was never really a troublemaker or anything, so I don't have any crazy memories, but I do remember in the trailers, you and Jerome, he was more of the enforcer, when Conde or someone would act up, you'd step in, and you were very patient all the time, and that's really cool. Just you always put education first, and even when people were acting up, you never stopped the classes, other people said. And honestly, I'm gonna turn 21 in about a week, and I know you live in the downtown area, so if you ever want to share a beer or something, it's on me.
I'm really shy right now, so I'm gonna go. All right. I just want to say thank you for putting up with me because I know I was bad. Really bad, and you taught me a lot, even things that I took to high school with me, and my teacher was just surprised that I knew. And I'm just I went to a really good school, so. But I enjoyed the field trips, or I remember that you taught us Boy and Doible. I will never forget that. It's so catchy, and just everything. I enjoyed your class, even though I was really bad, and I'm so sorry. I really enjoyed your class. I learned a whole lot, and I met a lot of great people in this school, and I'm gonna miss you. I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna miss you. But.
You don't know who I am. My name is Alicia. I'm gonna call you Steve because that's how I met you.
Crispy.
So, because a lot of people, they started enforcing the doctor, the Mr. and Mrs. after we were already up there. I was no, I'm going to continue to call you Steve because you're Steve. Steve. So, Steve, I just want to say, I was actually visiting my mom. Mom had surgery, so she was asking about you. She told me to tell you, thank you for being such a great person, because she said that you were the first person she met when we were visiting the school when I was younger, and that you were one of the reasons why she decided to put me in LCCS. And for that, thank you, because I couldn't have asked for a better school to go to, and it was a great thing to grow up in. So thank you for that. Also, I too apologize. I don't think I was as bad as Mecca.
It was his fault.
But I was a little sassy, and I'm sorry. But I'm glad that you all were patient with us, and you never yelled, even though you should have. That was your own. Dang, Mom. But I just want to say thank you for everything, for being patient, for always being so kind, and for introducing us into a lot of things that normally we probably wouldn't see on a regular basis. We were actually just talking about going to see that boat with the straw.
Did they ever make it?
Did they ever make it to Spain? No?
Okay.
Well, thank you for showing us so much and just being a great person. So thank you, and we're going to miss you.
Definitely putting this bad thing together. Don't know how cool y'all.
Alright, so I have to admit I was a part of this little trio here. And we would pass notes through a tissue box, and it was Steve just put up with all of our basically shit. We just
you can't curse here.
Listen. No. Okay, so yeah, our class was the last class in the hot trailer in the back of Boys and Girls Club. And we always look forward to Steve's class. We always would have fun, and no matter what he taught, whether it stuck with you or not, you look forward to going to Steve's class. And we all bunked out with each other, and we all have close friendships. And our the most important thing about LCS was that we were a community, and that was really enforced in Steve's class. And he made sure that we always stuck together. And everyone else said, he was really the soft person. Jerome was really the tough person, and. One thing that I remember, I don't know why it's stuck in my head, but all the guys thought it was funny that he would call things cute, and they would take offense that cute was his word, so he would emphasize that it's okay for guys to say cute, and he made everybody feel comfortable with saying cute. So that's one of my memories that I have from the trailers. And I'm gonna see Steve forever because Mattia is my best friend, so we're good.
So if you ever want to go grab a beer or something,
we can definitely get lit together.
We can get lit, Steve. We're all 21 here.
I have one memory that was actually a couple weeks ago when we're doing a Hudson County unit in my history class now,
and my teacher asked us if we knew how many counties were in New Jersey, and everybody was just guessing randomly, like 3, 13, 25, and then I knew it off the top of my head. I was like 21, and everybody looked at me, and they were like, "How did you know that?" And it just showed how great a teacher Steve was, because I thought everybody would know that, because that's what he taught. He taught us, and we remembered it, and it just shows how great of a teacher you were, and thank you for that.
Well, for some unknown reason, Dr. Krinsky sat Olive and I next to each other, and we never got in trouble for all of our talking, and I like to think that it's because we were his favorites, but in reality, it's because he was so always into what he was teaching that he didn't even notice that we were talking all the time. And I just want to say thank you for your passion for history, because it has given me a passion for a class that I didn't think I would have.
So, for those of you who know me, you know that I teach kindergarten, and on a daily basis, I don't have a whole lot of interaction with Steve. He's up in the tower, I'm down in the dungeon. We don't really see each other, but I will say that this year, one of my students got a very bad case of stage fright when the audience kind of giggled at him, and he was so upset, and as soon as he came off the stage, Steve comforted him and told him what a great job, and that meant a lot to him. So I wanted to thank you for that. And now I have a confession to make. 10 years ago, when I came here, I didn't steal it. It was in my room. But I didn't give it back either. And it's clearly yours. So use this in retirement.
My second one is National History Day. When I made it to States, I got really nervous because I didn't want to do this. I was by myself because my partner wasn't showing up. And he talked me through it, and he got me to do it perfectly. I remembered everything, and I did really well, I thought, even though I didn't advance. And I'm really happy that he taught me that. And third, I played on my phone every single day in your class, and you never noticed. So I wanted to admit that before, but I'm so happy that you're finally retiring. Last year you said you were going to wait until your daughter was done with college, but I'm glad you're doing it now. You made me love history. I loved history in the beginning of the year, but I don't like my teacher. So I missed your worksheets every single day when he shows us a stupid video. I just wish you were my teacher again, and I'm so glad you're retiring.
I think that Steve is one of the best teachers in LCCS ever that I've ever had. It might upset Miss B, but you're second. So I think Steve's the best because he spent half a year teaching us about the rivers of New Jersey, and then still after the other half of the year, he still had enough time to teach us all the world civilizations. And then I'm in prep 2019 and in my class, and I don't really care because the stuff that we're learning now, I already knew because of Steve. And it took us a whole year to learn at least 2 civilizations. So I just think that shows how much of a teacher Steve is.
I'm one of Steve's newest students, and 2 things I want to say about Steve. First is that as one of his newest students, I never have an interaction with him where I don't learn something new. And I think that's pretty impressive, to have a conversation if it's very short or very fleeting, and to not learn something new from someone. Every interaction with him, I walk away thinking about something he said, thinking about something he wants me to listen to, thinking about something he wants me to read. In fact, every time I talk to Steve, I end up walking away thinking, and I think that is one of the greatest things that can be ever given to any human being, is that sense of wonder, and to be able to pass that on to people, even people like me who are old and think we know stuff, is quite impressive. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about Steve is, I don't like judging people's character quickly. I don't think you should be quick to judge people. And I think it's a testament to a human being when you meet them and you're a stranger and you feel warm and you feel invited and you feel interested in their company. And that's exactly how I felt when I met him. I walked into a room and he smiled at me and he says, hey, whatever you need, you come and see me. And it's been like that every day for a year. And I think, again, that's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have in a human being. The school can't replace you, buddy. You just can't. So, thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Well, fortunately, I've had the pleasure of knowing Steve for my entire life. I was given 2 honorary parents in Karen and Steve since I was so little, and I couldn't ask for better people to spend all of my childhood with. I have a story about Steve that I don't think he remembers, but I remember. In 8th grade, we had just moved to this building, and we were taking an exam, and people were getting sort of worked up because it was pretty hard. And he just sort of looked at me and looked at the class and said, anyone who needs to take a walk, take a walk. So one by one, we all went out into the hall and we took a walk. And little does he know that I'm entering my junior year of college, and after every single exam I've taken in high school, in college, I've taken a walk. And my message to you from Steve is to just always take a walk. It's really helped. Thanks.
My first thing I want to say is I'm really mad at you because you weren't Jaden and Jay's teacher. And by the way, I'm the Cattles. Whoever don't know who the Cattles are, I'm their mom. And he taught 3 of my older kids. And I was praying that he stay another 5 years, but I see that's not happening. But they still think they still think you're their teacher. And Jaden never forgets the walk you took him into the swamps. I want to thank you for that. And I just want to thank you overall for being such a great teacher and giving us Batia. And all my kids became her best friend, and we all became like just a nice, beautiful family. Thank you so much for being there for them. I appreciate that.
I just want to express just the greatest gift that you gave to me as a teacher, because I really loved your class. I'm actually a political science major now, history, political science. But just what really impacted me as a student was that you cared. You really cared about the world around you. And you didn't only stop at US history that was Eurocentric or anything, or you know what I'm trying to say. But you taught us about the Native Americans, you taught us about tribes all over America. You just didn't stop where you had to stop. And you went into environmental justice, and it's just these things, and you look at LCCS students now, and all of us have this kind of awareness, this social awareness that I think you really kind of implemented, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I thank you so much for that. So thanks, Steve.
Hello, you guys. My name is Kinley. Graduation in class of 2008. So I've known Steve for 8 years. Need some change. Sorry, guys. I don't like this stuff. Steve, I'm gonna be honest, man. I appreciate all the stuff that you put up with because I gave you the time of your life, man. Because, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I came from the Bronx. It was like the 3rd worst in the city, and I came here, and it was different. I'll be honest, it was very different. And Steve, you know, Steve got it the worst. I was a little evil guy, I'll be honest. I was very evil. And Steve, he was like, Kinley, you can't do this. And he kept going, and I'm just like, man, why do you keep being so nice, man? This is weird. I can't see what's going on. So, my good friend Jarvis right here. I remember one good old funny moment. We were sitting in class, you know, Steve teaching up there history stuff, and I look at Jarvis. I'm like, yo, Jarvis, what's going on, bro? And he's like, yo, help me. I was like, what's wrong with you? He was like, well, yo. Then he breaks the chair, and I'm like, oh my God! So the whole class started dying, and Steve was like, what's going on? What's going on? What's happening? I'm like, yo, he just broke the chair, and Jarvis. Can I say it? All right. Yeah, Jarvis was a little heavy set. So back in the days, he was a big man. So we used to call him Bigums for short. Also, Steve, you actually, my little brother Dorian right there, nice guy with the dreads, waving the hand. Dorian actually getting a little privilege to have Steve, teach him. And I work here now. I work here at LCCS, and I work in Think Tank. Yeah, I work in Think Tank. And so, Dorian has the little capacity of, I don't know what to say, but he likes to forget a lot of things, everything pretty much. That's not important. And when it comes to work, right out the window. So I'm just working, looking at the kids, watching them, doing my job. He's like, Kinley! I'm like, yo, what's up, man? I gotta talk to you, man. Your brother. I was like, what's going on, man? Your brother got this assignment, he got this assignment, this assignment. I'm like, all right, Steve, I got you, man, don't worry. I'll get him. And then, come back a week later, he's like, I'm so proud, man, your brother's doing great. He's getting his work in on time. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's great. Thanks. Steve let me know. You think I passed the word on. I appreciate that, Steve. But one thing I'm really gonna miss, and you all guys are gonna miss, is the little, his little strange music when you go past his room. The little didgeridoo playing, the little. So I'm gonna pass the mic to my good friend Jarvis. Got a couple words to say.
Hello, Steve. It's been a while. I know. Yes. I can't do that. All right. I want to thank you personally for everything you've done for me as a person. I know I was also bad in your class a lot. Just thank you. You will be missed, honestly.
And just one thing that really has always stayed with me is that one day we're going through the textbook and Christopher Columbus comes up. And you see from Steve's expression that he has a bone to pick with the textbook. So we spend at least 2 days going over how awful Christopher Columbus is. And how he shouldn't have a holiday, and how he enslaved the natives and everybody died. And it's like, for me, it's so ingrained in my brain that it's surprising that it's not common knowledge. So when everyone makes a reference to Christopher Columbus or Thanksgiving or something, I always just give them this look because how could they not know? And then I realized it's because Steve was the real man. He knew what was going on. He knew that history is told through different lenses, that everyone has their own perception, and that the textbook isn't always right.
Steve was the first person, actually the second person that I met coming into LCCS, and it was probably the best experience for me to meet Steve first, because he just taught me how to be a professional, how to teach, and how to really care for the kids here at LCCS for the 4 years that I was here. So, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for everything that you've given me, the kids, the school, and you're my guy because you wear wallabies and jeans. Love you.
The staff here can't imagine LCCS without Steve. And so what we decided to do is help you out on your next adventure. So we were like, you and Karen's come up, please. Don't worry, Karen. And as you can see, the theme of our night is Adventure Awaits. And so on behalf of the staff of LCCS, we would like to present Karen and Steve with 2 plane tickets to the destination of their choice. We love you. We'll give you real tickets. That's not going to get them very far. They can either go to Philadelphia or Boston.
It's not a joke, it's for real.
Wow.
I'll get a little.
Thank you, I knew about this.
I'm shocked. We're going out of Newark. All right. In case you didn't know, I have a few things to say. I started to take notes while people were speaking so I could rebut. Just quickly before I get into the substance, I just want to say the 8th graders and all the 8th graders, even the ones I'm not the regular history teacher, and the 7th graders are going to get to see the picture of me in a Klan robe next week when I do my grand finale slideshow on racism. And I'll leave it at that. Here's what I wrote. I got about 6 things to say. For years, students have been asking me how old I was. I never tell them. Well, tonight, I'm still not telling. I will tell you about the time I hung out with Benjamin Franklin. Actually, I want to tell you a quick story about politics. I hope everybody's paying attention to the election this year. It's kind of fascinating, kind of creepy. There are refreshing elements to it. There are not so refreshing elements, but it's really important. And I'll tell you something, if you want to do the math, you can figure out how old I am. My freshman year in college at the University of Massachusetts was 1964, the election of LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, who took Kennedy's place after Kennedy was killed, running against Barry Goldwater. Goldwater was an extremely conservative Republican, dangerously conservative, and I was a freshman and I was gung-ho and I was getting active in the civil rights movement and I was ready to support LBJ against this yucky conservative, and I got a poster that said, "All the way with LBJ." Some of you may recognize the name because that was the name of a show that Bryan Cranston just did on HBO about LBJ. And I brought it back to my dorm and I hung it in the window, and I met some radical students at UMass, and they said to me, "Not all the way with LBJ, part of the way with LBJ." And I thought, that's right. And as time passed and the Vietnam War got bigger and bigger and worse, that became more true. That's the slogan I feel like we need today. Part of the way. You can figure that out if you want. I have a lot more to say about politics and about the election, but I'm a teacher, and so I'm not supposed to tell you what to think. But I do want to, my job is to teach kids how to think, and I feel like that's more important. If you want to know my opinion, I have lots, just ask. A couple of thoughts about tonight and about the school. My family suggested that since I'm retiring, maybe I should wear a running suit, sweatpants and a running suit, since that's what retired men do. But I said, I don't like getting dressed up. I do have on my world-famous shoes, which play a role in my Ku Klux Klan story. You'll have to wait. All right, I do want to say thanks to everybody for putting this together, particularly to Christina and Emily and all the staff who pitched in, to my family who helped make this happen. It's wonderful to see all the faces, familiar faces. I do forget some names, but I remember people, and I remember people very fondly. It's really nice. And I have to say, one of the things about leaving the school is I lose my captive audience. But in all reality, I will absolutely miss the human interaction. I'll miss teaching, I'll miss thinking about and working on projects related to history and the environment, but I'll mostly miss the people. I'll miss the kids who I love dearly, I'll miss my colleagues, but I'll still be around. I live downtown, you'll see me, I ride my bicycle a lot, I wear my Red Sox hat. If you see me, please say hello. And if you want to go out for a beer, if you're old enough, just let me know. And last, this is for students of all ages. Email me if you need help on that history paper.
So with that, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It has been wonderful to see you all. We cannot celebrate this man enough. He has impacted each and every one of us in ways that have not been said, but have certainly been felt. It's great to see you all. Please come to our graduation on the 17th. We're going to honor Steve again. Good night. We love you.